I'm Judd here, and thank you so much for joining me in this video. I'm super excited about this software that I'm going to share with you. Let me give you a little bit of background. So we have used, just about every price and inventory management software out there. We've tried a number of them, including, let's see, Web-Scraper app, SKU and a few other ones, older ones. And so this brand new software is, it really has blown away our expectations, and surprisingly. So the name of the software, I'm going to go ahead, the big reveal, drum roll. The name of the software is Amz-Scraper.com. Okay, that's the website for it. Now, we've been testing this software for a number of weeks. You know, we don't like to recommend things that have been fully vetted and fully tested, because the last thing that we want is any of our students to lose money on experimental software. And there's always new software that, sometimes are good, sometimes not so good. So we'd rather experiment on ourselves, lose money ourselves if we need to, before we make a recommendation to you. But I gotta say, with Amz-Scraper, we really have been impressed. There is a number of areas that we looked at, which I'm going to talk about. So 4 specific areas that we were focused on that we consider to be very important when it comes to software. So let's go ahead and start this off, okay? So the first one is capability. So understanding what the capability, the feature functions of this software is compared to our current software that we recommend, which is SKU. And I gotta say, that one checks the box. It's more capable than SKU, which is really exciting. The next area that we evaluate is the ease of use. How easy is this software to use compared to SKU? And again, I got to give this a big green check mark, because this is way easier to use than SKU. Now, SKU, as some of you who already have been using it, or for those of you that are looking into price and inventory automation software, you had to jump through a couple of hoops backwards and forwards and do somersaults and toss fire batons up in the air. It was complicated, and that's why we had a really long setup instructional video that we provided to you guys on how to set it up properly, but it was complicated. Now, I gotta say, pleasantly, Amz-Scraper is much more easier. I mean, they've done a really good job, and I think anybody can just implement this, within minutes, compared to what literally took us days, because there was a lot of questions back and forth and so on and so forth. And that brings me to my next evaluation point, which is support, right? So SKU support, unfortunately, is notoriously bad. They have a chat, and that's really the only way that you could talk to them, or email. And the chat wasn't always manned. They weren't always answering their chat. So sometimes you'd put in a question, as some of you guys know, and you just wait. Maybe next day you'll get an answer. Or email, they weren't always answering emails instantaneously or in real time. So you sent in an email, then you had to wait for that. And that was a real, pain in the butt, especially if you had a super urgent issue. In comparison, Amz-Scraper has a chat. They have also email. And here's the beautiful thing. Guys, they have a group. They have a Facebook group which you can jump into. So the answering response time is super good. And that was a big complaint with SKU. So support is much more improved with Amz-Scraper. And then lastly, and pretty important, of course, is price, right? So you don't want to get all these great features and then pay such a huge premium, extra for it. Sometimes that's not worth it, right? Comparatively speaking, Amz-Scraper is slightly more expensive, but I wouldn't say it's a lot more expensive. It's well worth the extra pennies per product that you're going to pay. Way worth it, because of all these other quadrants, these other reasons that I mentioned to you, which is the capability, the ease of use, and the support. So overall, I give it a strong 2 thumbs up. Eva gives it a strong 2 thumbs up. Both of our teams have been evaluating it, and we all concluded, not just Eva and I, but our actual managers, our VA managers, our folks that actually will be using the software after weeks and weeks of testing, that yeah, by far, we highly recommend this. So let me dive into the software. And the first thing is on the pricing. I just want to get that out of the way. So I'm actually going to share with you the pricing. Now, they've got pricing plans listed on their website, and you can go take a look at that. I'm not going to go through their pricing plans, but basically what I did was I did a analysis of the per cost per product. So basically, what is it going to cost me to list, each product across these 3 different softwares? And I broke it down and I did that analysis, and that's what I'm going to present to you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and share this with you. Okay, so here what we have is basically just focus on this table right here. Let's forget about it. I deep dove into their plan, so I started with Amz-Scraper app, and I've done this previously, and I looked at what are their current plans, and this was revised. I did this last year as well. What are their current plans? So Amz-Scraper app has an intro plan of 500 products, a starter plan of 1,000 products, growth at 3,000, and so on and so forth. Here's the link to their pricing plans. And then what's the cost of each one of these plans? And then what I did was I said, okay, you also need to be able to reprice automatically. And does the service offer a repricer or not? Amz-Scraper app does not offer a repricer. So if you add in the repricer, what's the cost of that for these related plans? And then essentially this is the most important factor that we want to look at, which is what's your cost per actual listing? So if you have 500 products listed, you take the cost of the plan plus the cost of the repricer for these, and your estimated cost is about 28 cents per product, okay? And that's for this particular plan. As you move up and you go from 500 to 1,000, it gets cheaper, okay? So you go from 28 cents to 20 cents to 13 cents and so on and so forth. They offer a 20% discount off of their listed price and so on and so forth. And then I did the same thing for SKU-Grid last year, and I just revised it again. And they have something called a newbie plan, a beginner plan, intermediate, upper, etc. And that goes from 200 to 800 onwards. So all the way from 200 to 10,000. And all of these softwares, by the way, they do offer much more, for the big fish if you really want it. But this is pretty much standard where most people are going to play in. So on the 200, their cost for these plans is $14.99 and $29.99, so on and so forth. And then they have, as you guys, some of you may know, they have an add-on that you also need to pay for the repricer, okay, so that you can be competitive on that. And here's the pricing for those. I matched those up. Their minimum is 800 items over here. So when you combine those two, what's your cost per listing? And that's 12 cents and 4 cents, and it gets pretty cheap, the higher up you go. And then lastly, I did this for Amz-Scraper as well. And here they've got a light plan, a basic plan, and a seller plan. And they also have more that you can request. But basically for these things, these plans, it's $79, $119, $179. And then also the cost per listing is 15 cents, 12 cents, and 9 cents. The beauty about Amz-Scraper is that the repricer is included, which is pretty awesome. But I took the overall effective price with all of these, and this is right here, what the summary. This is all you need to know. So comparing, this is Amz-Scraper app, SKU-Grid, and Amz-Scraper. And like I said, the numbers are estimates because there's always a little bit of fine-tuning, how much the actual repricer costs, because some of them vary by sales. Repricerinform.com, for example, varies by sale. But the only thing you need to pay attention to is this. For 500 listings, Amz-Scraper app costs you 28 cents per listing. 12 cents with SKU-Grid, that's a big difference, and 15 cents or 16 cents with AMZ. The difference between 12.5 cents and 16 cents is not that much, but it's well worth it. For 1,000 products, this is 5 cents for SKU-Grid and 12 cents for Amz-Scraper. And then for 2,000 products, it's 5 cents and 9 cents. So really, that's what you want to pay attention to. Like I said, it's slightly higher, but oh so well worth it. And we're going to get into that. Okay, so that's the pricing. Let's get that out of the way. Again, it's totally worth it. So when you log into Amz-Scraper, this is basically what you see. This is your dashboard. And let's go through this. Now, a big important note over here, guys. This is, again, going back to superior support. For those of you that have been through the pain of SKU-Grid, you'll appreciate this. On every page, there is a help video right here, okay? I wish they made this a little stronger because I actually missed it until they pointed it out to me. So even I have been actually speaking to the CEO, and I'm going to talk about a special deal for you guys at the end of this video, but we've been talking to the CEO and getting one-on-one support and so on just to, vet this out. But right here, there's a little blue play button, and if you click on this, all right, I'm going to go ahead and click on it, you get a YouTube video for every single page. And guys, they've done a smashing job on this. They walk you through exactly step by step how to do this, how to link your Amazon account, and then every other function. I was thinking when I was doing this video, when I was planning for this video, like, I don't really need to do this video because they've done such a good job. So I don't really, but I'm going to do a quick app walkthrough, but I don't want to, have this redundancy. So anyways, really important. Click on the blue play button here on every page. Watch it. I'd suggest you watch every video. There's only about 6 to 8 videos, and it will give you a really good explanation of how exactly everything works. So coming back here, this is the setup page. Here's where you're going to connect your Amazon Seller Central account. And again, click on that video to show you how. Here's your account status and your billing, and this will show you, your current plan that you're subscribed to, and you can up and change this anytime you want. They take PayPal, so you can do that. Now, if we scroll down, here's basically the settings. And again, guys, it's really straightforward. It's not anywhere near as complicated as SKU-Grid. So fees for us dropshippers, it's 15%, right? So you just punch in 15%. You can punch in another sales price fee if you want. If you're paying a VA and there's a certain fee you want to put on top of this or whatever, there's room in there to put another percentage fee on top of this if you want. Okay, inventory level, right? And we like to keep it kind of low because if it runs out of inventory, we want to catch it. But you could put whatever number you want over here. We recommend 5 or 6 or 4, whatever whatever you really want. There's a limiter over here. You could do a daily limit that, hey, if I have this much items sold, then stop, selling, or this much quantity sold, then stop selling. So again, this may be tied to your credit limit, right? If your credit limit is a certain amount, you don't want to go over your credit limit and stop sales. So you could do that. That's kind of a nice feature. All right, here's the repricer. So you can reprice in a number of different ways. You can preserve your profit, preserve your markup, and so on and so forth. Very similar to SKU-Grid. We typically put beat the lowest and have a minimum profit of a percent or a fixed dollar amount, okay? We typically just say 2% or 1%, depending on how aggressive we want to be. If we want to ramp up our sales and get more sales, improve our performance or whatever it is, then we'll bring it lower or raise it higher. If we're getting a lot of sales and we're hitting our credit limit on the account, then we might change this from a 2% to a 3% and 5%, whatever it is. So you've got that control. Again, very straightforward. And then your shipping default delay, and we've talked about this previously. We like to put 5 days because, again, shipping is still kind of a little bit chaotic. We don't want to be too aggressive on this and put 2 or 3 days, but that's it. You just do that. The other thing that you can do here is you can actually bring in your shipping templates from Amazon. So if I click on this, when you go into your Amazon, you want to copy and paste the shipping template name exactly as is and paste it in here, and it'll match it. So if your shipping template, says don't ship to, international or overseas, then whatever those rules are, it'll bring them in here. So that's kind of nice. Okay, and then here is your supplier settings or your source settings. And over here, for this particular account, we're only doing Walmart. So we've only enabled the Walmart one, but you've got Walmart, you've got Home Depot, you've got Overstock, Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Zoro. Those are the suppliers that they're limited to. And I know SKU Grid has a lot more, but to be honest with you, 99% of our source is from these particular vendors. And I'm sure in the future they'll be scaling and adding a lot more suppliers. But this is good for, again, 99% of our use cases here. So for Walmart, if you are not tax exempt yet, then you can add a sales tax amount over here. If you are tax exempt, you just put 0. And then here's another discount fee that you can add on top of that, for whatever reason. And then here you can specify, do you want to be sourcing directly from Walmart, or do you want to do Walmart preferred, or do you want to do lowest offer? So we just say Walmart only. We really don't want third-party suppliers, but maybe you do, and you can turn that on. And then also auto add shipping. Okay, and that's, remember, when the price is less than the $25 minimum that they have or whatever, it'll automatically add in the $5.99 for the shipping. So very, very straightforward. I mean, literally, this is going to take you 10 minutes to fix these settings. No crazy backward jumps and leaps and all that, and you're done. Okay, let's move on now to the next page, which is right here. Now, here's where that extra capability comes in, guys. Amz-Scraper has a really awesome sourcing capability, and we're pretty excited about this, and our teams have been using it. So let me show you. Right here, Seller Scraper. Let's click on it. Okay, so basically what you can do right here is, one of the key strategies for dropshipping, as you guys know, is to find existing sellers on Amazon that are already doing dropshipping. And you can, when you spend some time, you'll know who's dropshipping, because you can see that there's a bunch of sellers selling the same product from Walmart. And then you can follow them and see, okay, what other products are they selling? Well, this allows you to do that. You just grab their merchant ID and stick it in here. All right, and then you can put in some rules to see, okay, I want to make sure that I'm looking at, their lowest offer, their margins for minimum, maximum, start page, end page, whether I want to allow FBA or not, if I want to limit the maximum best-selling rate, rank, etc., source. So again, I'm not going to go into all this because, again, they got a beautiful video right here. You just click on it, and they just go through the entire process and they explain it. Again, they've done a really, really good job. So right here, they're going through the whole thing. So there's no point in me repeating and then you watching the video. But this is basically where you can do your competitive sniping and put in all the dropshipper competitors that you like and let the software do the homework. All right, so let's go back here. You can choose for your sellers that you like. So once you enter that, you can click on My Sellers up here. And what that does is it gives you, here's my list for this particular account of the sellers that we are following, okay? So basically you can see for this first seller, for example, the seller name, merchant ID, which is hidden here, but I can put in some custom tags over here if I want, like, hey, follow this guy or whatever, right? Or here's my number 1 choice, number 2 choice, whatever. I can tag it however I like. I can see when the scraper has run. Now here I can see the feedback. So this is the feedback for the last 30 days, 90 days, year, and total, etc. So this helps me to gauge how active and how big this seller is right here, okay? So this one, for example, has 354 feedback and 22 in the last 30 days, so on and so forth. Actually, this count is something else. This is not feedback. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what this count is for, but it's in the video. Okay, so from here, we have a couple of options. We can click on this, and we can click on Scrape Seller. And what this is going to do, this is going to start a job. And it's going to scrape that particular seller's store based on the settings that you've put in there. And then it's going to give you a bunch of results, and we'll take a look at that in a second. All right, and you can delete the seller, you can blacklist him, you can add to VIP, your preferred ones, because you may have dozens and dozens, but there's certain ones that you like. You click on this, add, and you can punch in the seller, seller name, merchant ID, so on and so forth. Very, very straightforward. And then let's go to product viewer from here. So there's the other list, by the way, the VIP. You can also blacklist certain sellers to say, I never want to see this guy, this guy's results, etc., etc. So from here, I'm going to click on product viewer. Okay, so product view, actually, let's go back here, sorry. Okay, so let's go into this particular seller, okay? That link will take you to the seller store on Amazon, but let's click on the name. All right, now this brings me to the scrape. Remember I said you click on scrape and then it starts scraping. So this is the results of scraping that particular seller's store. And here's all the products. And this is a thing of beauty. Okay, now here's where I'm doing my competitive analysis over here. So basically I've got my picture, I've got my title, I've got my ASIN, I've got my bestseller rank, my seller price, lowest price, FBA lowest, FBA, but we're not interested in FBA. Competition, how much competition there is on that product. And then here's the source price, okay? So I can see that the source price, this is the profit. This isn't the actual price of the product, but this is the indicated profit. Now you still have to check all of these, one at a time, because again, data is just so dynamic, right? But let's go ahead and check the source, and you can sort these, by the way. If I click on this, it'll re-rank it, accordingly, right? Okay, so let's take a look over here. Okay, so this is telling me, now, one thing, again, you have to check these things because quantities can vary, variations can vary, so on and so forth. But let's take a look at this one here, okay? So secret, invisible, blah, 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 deodorant spray. So what I do is I click on my source profit, 2148, and I start figuring out what's going on over here. Now, this gives me a snapshot of my Amazon price up here and my source price down here, okay? So let's start with this. You can just click on this and it will open up an Amazon tab, and you can click on this and it'll open up your source supplier tab. So let's click on Amazon first, right there. All right, and there it is. I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna click on right here, and that's going to take me to Walmart. And now let's do some matching here. Okay, so first on Amazon. Okay, secret, invisible, antiperspirant, deodorant spray, cool. Always have to make sure that the product is an exact match, right? So okay, so it's a secret, invisible, and the deodorant scent is Water Lily. And it's a pack of 4, and it's 3.8 ounces. Very, very important. And over here, I can see that the current price, from $39.27. That's the going price. Okay. Water Lily, 3.8 ounce pack of 4. So let's come up here. All right, here it is on Walmart. Secret Drive, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Water Lily, 3.8, and this is for a single. So for a single, it's $5.97. Now let's do our math. Okay, so $5.97, and we said this was a pack of 4. So I'm going to bring up my calculator here. So $5.97 times 4 gives me $23.88. Okay, $23.88. Here it's $39.27. We have to subtract the 15% fee of that. So let's do that. So I should have done it the other way. $39.27. 39.27 times 0.85 after my 15% fee, so it's 33.38. So 33.38 minus what my cost is over here, whatever that was, I forgot. So let's try this again. 5.97. So 5.97 times 4. All right, $9.05 is what it's saying my profit is, which is really good. So if I come back up here, let's get rid of this. Okay, This is saying 2142. Now, why is it saying 2142? It's because it's not adding in the quantity, okay? It's got 1 against 4. So right here, I can click on this little icon here, and I can change this to 4, and look what it did, okay? It automatically, oh, and I forgot the shipping, I'm sorry. In our equation, I've got to also subtract the $5.99 shipping because it's less than that shipping, the free shipping amount. So what I'm showing is my total profit is $351. Look at that, hey, perfect match. So they've done a really good job of, with the data. I gotta say, I'm impressed. So lowest offer profit is $351, which is exactly with what we just checked. Perfect. And okay, and I changed my quantity to match. Now I like this product, it's a match, and now guys, what I do here is I basically, and by the way, if there's variations, I can put them here. Now I want to say, hey, I like this product, I'm going to move it to the lab. They call it a lab. So I click on this, save to lab, and then it's saying, hey, do you want to keep it in this list and also put it in the lab, or do you want to delete it from this list? And I'll say keep it, that's fine. Okay, that's done. So that's basically it, okay? So this is how the sourcing works in Amz-Scraper. You just go through each one. What our team has concluded is we are basically, and this is really, really important, we are basically able to double our listing capability. We're basically able to double the number of products that we can source, okay? And that's super, super critical. All right, so next step here, I can go to my product viewer. Okay, let's see here. So from here, actually, let's go over to the lab. Okay, so here's the lab. So here's some products that I saved. There's the same one we were looking at, okay, the first one. And now from here, here's again a really great capability. I can go ahead and basically list the item, okay? I can change the price, I can view the product, I can do a bunch of things over here, but basically I'm building my sourcing list here, and then I can immediately start listing the product. All right, so here I can select, and then I can also list from here. So a lot of options. I can export my list from here. I can delete this particular item or all of them or whatever, okay? So that's what you can do over there. The next thing I have is my items down here, so I click on that. And these are actually my current listings, okay? So these are what I have in my store that I've already listed. And I can edit, I can do all kinds of things over here. Really, really cool. I can export the entire list and so on and so forth. And then let's see here, let's go to the lister and the uploads. Okay, so from here, basically this is where the listings actually happen. So I can punch in manually the list. I can put in an ASIN, and then the next step, I would verify the pricing and the quantity. If I want to adjust that, I would punch in any shipping and repricing rules that I want to change on that particular ASIN, and then go ahead and list it. I can also do bulk uploads, which is really, really cool. They give you a CSV file that you can download and go ahead and put a bunch of products in here and do it via upload. Again, super, super handy video over here, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. And then lastly, and this is again, more capability, guys, that we did not see in SKU-Grid. Under my orders, guess what? Amz-Scraper is pulling in our orders, and they're shortening that step, giving us a little more automation, which is super, super nice. So I can see over here my total number of orders waiting to be purchased is 28, waiting to be shipped is 255. I can see my best sellers over here. I can see my performance, so on and so forth. And then from here, I can basically do some fulfilling and tracking. So this potentially eliminates having a Google Sheet where you need to track your orders. All right, so let's see here. From this first product, if I click on this right here, I can dive into this. So here, I can see all my order summary. I've got my Amazon order ID, I've got my ASIN number, SKU number, order total. Very important, they mentioned this in the video, make sure your order quantity is correct. There's no bundles. If it says 2 here, then you should be sourcing 2, so on and so forth. And then over here, I can update the order. So here I can put in my Walmart price, my Walmart order ID, the gift card that's used, my estimated profit, and so on and so forth. I can update my tracking over here. That's really, really nice. And guess what? It'll update it automatically on Amazon. And there's some additional features and things that you can do over here. If I click on buyer's info, this is pulling from Amazon and I'm getting the buyer's information. And guess what? I can copy these fields one at a time, and then I can put them into Walmart or Home Depot or wherever I'm sourcing. And so you get a nice little copy and paste over here. So again, lots of features, guys. And you know, it takes a little bit to learn the system, just like anything else, but nowhere near as complicated as SKU Grid. And right here is help. So if you click on this, and they got their help, and they're super fast. I mean, really, we really like their response time. Again, there's a Facebook group as well, but their support is really, really superior. Overall, we are extremely happy with their service. Okay, so let me conclude here with a couple of things. Okay, so guys, in summary, by far, the capabilities of this tool are, in our opinion and our testing, much better, much stronger. Support is much better. Ease of use, definitely much easier. And the pricing is a little more expensive, but really nothing, you know, extraordinary. Definitely for all the benefits that you get, some of the automation, the competitive sniping, the built-in repricer, all that stuff. I mean, man, it's awesome. So we are letting go of SKU Grid, and we are incorporating this across all of our accounts. Our team is extremely happy. So we highly endorse this and highly recommend it. Okay, how do you get this? Guys, like I said, we've been talking to the CEO. We have an affiliate link. We're going to share that with you. He's given everybody from our community a little discount, a 5% off discount on your first month. And then also, you know, he's going to just treat you a little better, I hope, because you're coming in through us. And we have a community of sellers that we're bringing to the software. So it's nice to go in as a family because they just kind of, you know, prioritize us maybe over some of their other customers. But again, the CEO is a super nice guy. They've been super supportive. And overall, we've vetted this thing, and it's, you know, so far it's bulletproof. To get the special link, just go ahead and comment below, and Eva and I will reach out to you. We don't want to open it up to the public just yet, so this is just for you guys. Go ahead and comment below, and then Eva will reach out to you, or I'll reach out to you, and we'll give you that special link. And that's it. Just jump in, try it out. Hopefully this ups your game. Hopefully it increases your automation, and you can sell a ton more product and have more automation in your life and not be bogged down without support with SKU Grid. SKU Grid was great while it lasted, but this is just so much better. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you learned a lot from it, and jump on it, and I will catch you in the next video. Have a great day.